Biohacking is a big trend now where people try and be as healthy and fit as possible. But it can be expensive because people use all kind of equipment, they have all kinds of fancy treatments, and it can add up. It can be incredibly expensive, and sometimes it can get overwhelming, and especially if you're on a budget. You think, well, is it impossible to stay really healthy when I don't have the funds to support this? And I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. And we're going to look at the different ways and the things people use and the alternatives that you can use that will be free. First of all, to stay really fit and healthy, obviously, you need to eat a lot of fruit and a lot of vegetables and some fruit. You need to eat healthy protein, you need to eat healthy fats. So what you eat is going to go a long way to making you healthy. And of course, exercise. Having movement every day, spending time outdoors. Those three things I would think are probably the most important things when it comes to health. But, you know, we're fighting a lot of things these days. You know, we live in a very toxic environment. So our bodies are having to deal with a lot more. And there's a lot of stress in our lives. And it is becoming, I think, in the world we live in, it is becoming more of a battle to stay healthy. So let's look at all the options. Okay, so a simple thing. People often take hydration supplements because it's really important to be hydrated, and it depends how you drink water, how hydrated you will be. So drinking big glasses of water when thirsty is going to hydrate you a lot more than little sips through the day. But even that is sometimes not enough, and people take hydration supplements. So what can you do instead of taking a hydration supplement? Well, as I've shown in a previous video, when I showed that I drink lemon water with a little bit of sea salt in the morning, you can do that. You can add a little bit, and it mustn't be processed salt, it must be sea salt or Celtic salt, to your water, just a pinch, and that will really help hydrate you. So that's a little trick for hydration. We're all living in a complete Wi-Fi fog and radiation blitz these days. And so what people are doing, they are buying these glasses that block out blue light from our devices, because we've got our phones, we've got our computers, we've got our televisions, and we spend all night on all our devices, and then we wonder why we can't sleep. Well, all this blue light creates stress, it creates inflammation, and it seriously impairs our sleep, and sleep impairment will definitely affect your health in all kinds of ways. So sleep has got to be a priority. And these glasses are not that cheap either. So what can you do? Well, it's very, very simple, and I highly recommend this. And that is to have a Wi-Fi detox in the evening. So when you get to early evening, try and stay off your phone. It's hard, I know, and I'm guilty of this myself. But I have a rule. I often work from home, and you know, I'm working on the Ageless website, and I'm on my computer a lot during the day. But I always try and I turn off my day by 6 o'clock. Every now and then I have to work a bit later, but I'm pretty good at that. I try not to take business calls or deal with any business related matters at night, and I turn off my computer, and the whole evening I don't have it on. The phone I do struggle with, but I know that if I want to sleep, I must not be on my phone scrolling through in the hour or so before bedtime. So have a detox at night. Put your devices away and turn your television off maybe an hour or so before you go to bed. Everybody sleeps with their phone by their bed. Worst thing you can do. At the very least, turn your phone right off. But they don't, because people use their phones as alarm clocks. No, this is not going to help your sleep. You're going to be getting that radiation. It's not good for you. So all you've got to do is, I leave my phone in the kitchen at night, turned off. We all turn all our phones off at night, so we at least don't have that radiation coming in at night. Also, just to really make it lovely, how about candlelight? Why don't you dim the lights, turn the lights off, and in the evening have candlelight? I mean, I have friends who do that, and it's very romantic and it's very lovely and it's very conducing to feeling mellow and relaxed and going to bed. So those are all the things you can do there. The other thing is organic foods, and my goodness, I do love my organic foods, and I've been eating organically for many years, and I think they're very important, because I think eating all those pesticides doesn't do us any good. But they are expensive, and when you go to the supermarket, and they all have organic ranges now, but they are definitely more expensive. So what is the alternative? Well, the alternative is growing your own where you can. I mean, I grow a few things in my little London urban garden. I have some herbs. In the summer I grow tomatoes, I grow strawberries, and just those little things that give such joy to eat these things from your garden. But in the meantime, go to local farmers markets, because the produce is very fresh. It's probably organic anyway, and it is definitely cheaper than organic food. So that's a really good one to do. The other thing is supplements, and my goodness, once again, I mean, I am a great believer in supplements. I really, really am, because as I said, it's so hard to get everything from our foods these days. We're dealing with so many toxins. So I do believe in the benefits of supplements, but my goodness, they're expensive. They really are. I mean, I honestly feel I've spent so much money over the years on supplements, and I buy them for my family as well. I've got my entire family on supplements, and I spent a good part of my earnings on supplements. I mean, I actually feel that if I hadn't had supplements, I could probably have a private jet by now. So I would say, I mean, if you can get a blood test done to see if you have any deficiency, but take the basic ones, the ones that most people need. And in this country, in a cold climate, the chances are you're going to need vitamin D. It's one of the cheapest supplements as well. It's also one of the most important ones. So D3 and K2, you can buy them combined together. So I would recommend that. Magnesium is another very important one. But you could just hone in, maybe do a little bit of research, maybe do blood work, maybe talk to a nutritionist, and hone down to what is going to benefit you, and just stick to those. And then really try and get the rest from your foods. But what's really important is your gut, because we have so many neurotransmitters in our gut. It affects our mood. Our immune system is completely dependent on a healthy gut. So having good bacteria in your gut, which is why I love probiotics, but they can be really expensive. So what is the alternative to that? Well, the alternative to that is very simple, actually. It's eating fermented foods. This is sauerkraut. So sauerkraut, miso, tempeh, kombucha, those things are great. And if you want to save even more money, ferment them yourselves. You just need a bit of patience, really. You just need water, a jar, and some salt. So never processed salt, never. So it's got to be sea salt, and some herbs and some spices. And some people lack patience and they use a starter pack, which is fine, but make sure it doesn't have vinegar in it, because that will kill the live bacteria and defeat the whole purpose. So also make sure, if you buy, like I buy this one quite often, it's organic. This is quite well, this is a Biona, and sauerkraut can be quite expensive, but this one, you know, they can be £4 or £5 a jar, and you have to eat them in 4 or 5 days. But this one, I think is under £2. It's £1 something. So it's a decent size. So my whole family will take about 4 or 5 days to eat this. And it literally just contains, it contains white cabbage, sea salt, and juniper berries. No vinegar. So just be careful of the vinegar. So what else? Well, a very popular thing is red light therapy, because it helps with inflammation, it helps with pain, it helps give you great skin, but it is quite pricey. So what can you do? Go and watch a sunset, and you'll get the infrared rays. And being out in nature is so beneficial. There are so many microbes in the air and coming off the trees and the plants that's good for our gut, and that's good for our immune system. And the infrared rays from a sunset. I know that's not always possible in England, but we're having lots of sunny days at the moment. So there have been some beautiful sunsets, actually. The other thing that people use are hyperbaric oxygen chambers, which are incredibly healing. Very, very good for us. Very healing, very good for pain. So what can you do instead of that? Well, you can do breathing. And the one that I would recommend, a man who's become very famous, you've probably heard of him, is Wim Hof. So that's W-I-M-H-O-F. Google him. And he does quite extreme breathing in nature. And it's all there for free. It's all on the internet. He offers his method right there. And that will really oxygenate your system, and it's great for anxiety, depression, all kinds of things. So that's a very, very powerful tool. I have also done a video which is extremely effective for anxiety, so it's on my YouTube channel and you can find that. So you see, there are many alternatives to really staying healthy for very little money or for free. And there are ways to do it. So don't feel that you need loads of money to do biohacking and to do all these things, because you don't. You don't. So I'm always up for looking for methods that you can just do by yourself and that are easy to do and don't cost you anything. So I hope that's helpful, and let me know how you get on.